everybody, welcome back to another video. I'm Football Game here, and today I'm playing some more Bloons Adventure of Tower Defense. I've done that the past 3 or 4 videos now. Why do I keep saying Cook Your Own Kingdom? I know it's Bloons Adventure of Tower Defense. I know it's Bloons Adventure of Tower Defense, and yet I say Cook Your Own Kingdom. Anyways, today we are doing another 2000 Impopable with C4 Charlie and Dungeon Finn, which, am I correct in saying that neither of them are in my parties? Yes, I am, so let's just fix that. I'm really glad someone finally told me there was a multi-select option. I just kept going in and out of characters. It's such a hassle, and now I'm gonna do it anyways. So this is our C4 Charlie build. I'm not gonna go through everything as what I usually do. If we finish the challenge really quickly, then, or if we win or lose very quickly, then at the end I normally go over the trinkets, but not always. But obviously you can still see them. You know what's here for the most part. If you have any questions, I mean, you can always leave a comment and ask. If you're like, hey, what's the weird pink blob that's an epic trinket? And I can probably give you a pretty good answer, but I'm not going to now. So as for the map, I don't actually know which one. I'm debating. I'm going to quickly look at which one the Bloon Beacon map is, because I might do it there. Where's the Bloon Beacon? It's very far down here. Assuming I haven't done an Impopable, obviously, because we're doing Impopable. Actually, I don't, so I actually can't do it on that map. Though, that's not a bad map to do Impopable on. But it's a fortified map, I believe, which is a bit of an issue. Honestly, I kind of want to do it on the Empress's Throne. That's an awesome map. It's one of my favorite maps. It is the super cool Empress, which is just a terrifying monster now that I know more about her. Originally, when I did this, I'm like, oh, the Ice Empress. No, it's just a terrifying vampire queen, empress, creepy person that will more than likely steal your soul. Very creepy person. But it is a fortified map, plus zombies and camo and faster balloons, and it's a lot. It's not exactly the best modifiers, but we're gonna try it anyways, and then we're gonna lose. But no, I mean, like, all things considered, between C4 Charlie and Dungeon Finn, the fortified bad balloon will not be a problem. We have focus fire. Plus, with C4 Charlie, we have the Mob Assassin, which you can just sell and rebuy to spam it. It's an absurd amount of DPS. Fortified bad balloon, not an issue. We have C4 Charlie with his, I'm like, oh, we have C4 Charlie. I didn't even place him yet. With his Moab, which means that's effectively takes out all DT sources for the most part. Hopefully, I can save that for the bad balloon, but it's there in case I need to. Though I suppose if I'm selling him for a Mob Assassin, I wouldn't. But in general, assuming he can pop them, he does a lot of damage, and even if he can't, Dungeon Finn does do a fair bit of damage here. Really? I can't place here? There we go. It's a little bit farther down, but it's still a good placement. So in terms of generalistic damage, they're pretty much fine against, like, mobs and VFBs. ZMDs, again, might be a bit of an issue, but between their abilities, we should be fine. So really, it would be the DTs and the bad balloon that are a bit more of an issue. Mostly it's the bad balloon. But let's just get started, because I doubt this will be that difficult of a challenge in the early game. Both of these are incredibly powerful towers with very impressive skills. Not to mention, I actually did... I'm not sure if this is a good decision, but I gave Dungeon Finn the 40 sword. It's a bit of an iffy decision, because it requires me to spend a trinket slot on lead section, like lead popping power, I think. That's what I did anyways. But it also doesn't really have any damage or attack speed stats that would make it that useful. Obviously, it does have other damage and attack speed boost, so it sort of makes up for it. But the main reason I chose it is because it slows and one-shots Mode-class balloons. So, again, anything except the bad balloon and maybe a DT, but honestly, probably not even a DT, will be pretty easy to just one-shot. It won't take long, couple swings, balloons are gone. I'm wondering to myself right now, did that rhyme, or is that only in my head? Probably just in my head. But yeah, so it's a pretty powerful epic weapon. Obviously, it has a very unique skills, but it's normally used for support on something like Warrior PB or Finn, so it's not quite as good on a heavy DPS character, especially in a 2000 Impopable, like Dungeon Finn, especially if he's gonna end up being my exclusive DT popping power. But then again, if he's my only DT popping power, him one-shotting them would be really useful, so I don't know. It's a pretty powerful weapon. I don't think it's that bad of a decision. There are decent odds I should have gone for the lightning one, but it's too late now, and I think it will be helpful overall. It should go out pretty well. I feel like we just upgraded Dungeon Finn a ton. Let's give some upgrades to C4 Charlie. Not that his upgrades are really gonna help that much, but he's mostly a Moab killer between Moab Mauler, Moab Assassin, Moab. he's just used for the Moabs. You know, if he hits the balloons, he does a good job. He can stun them and set them on fire and all sorts of stuff. But it's a pretty rare occurrence for Super Charlie to actually land a hit, so, you know, he's not exactly the greatest at dealing with green balloons, let alone pink balloons, especially not when they're at 1.5 times speed. Because of course this map has a speed up. But yeah, I feel like these towers are going to do a pretty good job. Honestly, I'm just looking at this. They look pretty good on this map. That's pretty awesome. I like that. That's nice. But overall, they're just each individually very powerful towers. They both have their own major issues and flaws. Dungeon Finn, for example, is really bad against groups of balloons, which, although not good at soloing them, C4 Charlie would actually be really good at, given that he has, obviously, this stunning on fire effect and a massively high Pierce and area attacks. He'd actually end up doing a significantly good job against high groups of ceramics or rainbows or something like that. Even though he won't hit all of them, he'll hit the big center, deal with a lot of them, or at least slow them down or stun them and do some layers that'll slow down their speed, because they won't be a pink now, they'll be a yellow or something, and allow Dungeon Finn to deal with the now much thinner crowd, which could actually be an incredibly good combo, so I'm excited for this. In the back of my mind, I'm thinking, please tell me I didn't do this combo already, but I don't think I have. I'm actually trying to remember if I've done any 2-tower combos with the premium characters. I don't think I have. Maybe one, but I can't really remember any, so probably not. I guess I should probably go back to Dungeon Finn now, maybe get him his Battle Moon, which is, let's face it, it's just a robot firing laser drone. It's really cool looking. It looks so impressive, and then you see it, and it's not weak, but it's not nearly as powerful as it looks. Like, it looks like it's spraying like 1,000 lasers per second, but I don't know if they get damage boosts, or even if they do. It's not actually as many projectiles as you think, and I don't know if they have a lot of Pierce, or they're not as good, it's not as powerful as it looks, but it looks insane, so it's still pretty powerful. But yeah, so I mean, obviously Dungeon Finn is the premium character, and technically the premium character that's the most focused on DPS. Hunter Marceline is debatably better for DPS overall because, well, for the one simple user, she's a Dart user, and she has homing attacks, plus she has flying, which means she has practically full map range. She's really, really powerful, but she does have her Soul Steal ability, and obviously I'm using 40 swords, so he has some support, but normally, Dungeon Finn actually has 0 support, so he's an entirely DPS character, which, although technically in straight up looks is kind of similar to Finn, is actually very different to how Finn is used. Finn is used exclusively as a support character, for the most part, once you get past early game at least. Whereas Dungeon Finn, his support stats are pretty much useless, and he's just a high DPS unit. Which overall is probably better in endgame than support, especially since if you're getting premium characters, either you're buying one, in which case why is Dungeon Finn your first pick, you want Tuxedo Jake as your first choice anyways, or you bought them, in which case you already have Tuxedo Jake, in which case you don't need support. Tuxedo Jake will handle all of it. Seriously, Tuxedo Jake, he's insane, he's really awesome. I really love that he gives any balloon popping power. That's like my favorite ability he has. It's really, really useful. I feel like I've talked a lot about this game all of a sudden. Lots of like in-depth detail and analysis of, oh, what characters go well together. I don't do that all that often, but hey, free tips, I guess. Anyways, how is your day going? Are you having fun? Do you have something fun planned for the day? Hopefully you're doing something nice, something exciting. I haven't really done much today, but I'm recording the video now, so that's something. So I guess we'll go for abilities now. Focus Fire was probably not the first one I should choose, but then again, both of these abilities are high damage single target abilities, so neither of them really do good, but unless against like the Babylon or something like that, so realistically, neither of them will be that good of a choice, but yeah. I don't know, I'm hopeful. I don't think any of the Bloons have really made it far in the slightest. These mobs are getting annihilated, even the fortified ones, which is a good sign. Again, as I mentioned a few times, every single time I'm like, oh, the mobs will tell me something, and then once the mobs come, I'll say, oh, the BFBs will tell me something, and then the BFBs come, and I say, well, ZMG will tell me something, and then in the end, I'm like, you know what? We'll just have to wait for the bad to see. I always just change my mind on when will we finally have the information? Well, when we have the information, or in other means, when the game's already over, of course. I don't know. Obviously, there's lots of signs. If you do bad against ceramics, you're more likely to die on rounds like 74, but you can't really know until it happens, especially since you know, all Bloons games have this subtle, like, RNG aspect. I'm convinced they have just some, like, random modifier. Moab health, 1400 to 1410. 1% chance for each. I don't know. I'm just, in my mind, I picture they have this, like, random stat. Just, like, a randomness, like, variable or something that they just change every time you play the game. They try to be sneaky about that, like, oh, well, we won't change their stats. We'll change their movement speed. Or, oh, we won't change how much damage your tower does. We'll change if your tower targets the pink balloon or the other pink balloon. I don't know. I just feel like there's gotta be some secret mechanism for how it works. Because I'm unconvinced that if they didn't do anything on purpose, there would be random aspects, but I don't know. I'm not exactly a game developer. If any of you are, that's really cool, first of all. But how does that work? Does it actually just happen is it just something that happens, like, on accident? Or do they, on purpose, add in the randomness aspect? Because I really don't know. In my mind, it's on purpose, but maybe it's random. Maybe that's just what happens with game development, unless they spend hours making sure it's not. Oh, that's another thing with this, making it even harder to tell how well off we are. At any random moment, 40 Soul could just one-shot the balloon, and I can always tell, because they always get one-shotted behind these stupid ice pillars, which means I can't even see the balloon, or the little, like, 40 icon thing that happens when they get one-shot. It's like a weird black and white square. Kind of looks like there's a square within a square within a square within, like, a diamond. It's a bit of a weird symbol, but it looks very cool. Man, that Empress is creepy. The weird snake popping out of her head, or neck, or scarf. I think she's, like, wearing it on her neck. You can sort of see it. Oh, actually, it's all over her body. Yeah, that's creepy. Empress, you're very creepy. Anyway, so I guess we're about to reach round 60. I've said a lot, I'm realizing that now, but we are about to reach round 60, so that's exciting. We will have the ZMG, which should be pretty cool. I'm assuming it'll be fortified, I think? I don't know. Recently, I swear it's a recent thing, but I don't know at this point. Fortified maps don't always have a fortified bad balloon, but certain fortified maps always do have a fortified bad balloon, but other fortified maps sometimes have a fortified bad balloon, sometimes don't. And if they do, that doesn't necessarily mean they'll have a fortified ZMG, and vice versa. For some maps, but some maps, if the ZMG is fortified, the bad balloon's always fortified, even though the bad balloon isn't always fortified normally. It's a lot of confusing, lots of confusing. But I mean, it works out pretty well. But yeah, I mean, obviously, if we get a normal bad balloon, it'll make the stage just a little bit easier, but it'll still be a bit of a difficult thing. Bad balloons are nothing to joke at. And a lot of their dangerous aspects are still true, whether they're fortified or not. But obviously, if they're fortified, they're a lot worse. For example, like, a big thing with the bad balloon is that basically, if it gets too far, you lose to the DTs. That's really the issue. It either gets too far, and then the DTs sneak through, or your towers focus on the DTs, and then the ZMGs get farther along. They're really close to the end, and you pop them, you get the mobs and ceramics, hit the pierce cap, and then some balloons leak and you lose. Those are usually what happens. Also, those were some scary, like, regens that got by near the end. They got around the loop, and anything that gets around the loop is considered dangerous. So that's a little freaky, but I guess it's bound to happen with the zombies. Because the balloon that you pop latest, if it's a zombie balloon, it just gets a second life. Like, it's a pretty early second life, because it'll be first, but still, it's a second life. It makes them go much farther. Zombie balloons really are a terrifying thing. Or who knows, maybe like the last challenge I did, round 74 is gonna have a fortified, or not fortified, it's gonna have a bunch of zombie balloons, then round 75 is gonna come, bad balloon will appear, and there'll be about 1,000 rainbow balloons that I can't pop, and I'll have to waste my Morap on that, regardless of if I needed to sell and rebuy for Morb Assassins for the bad balloon. I will never know. Though that, like, massive group of fortified, or not fortified, camera regen rainbows, that did really well. Like, they popped them well. I guess it wasn't that big of a group, but it was not small, so that's better than nothing. Huh. That's weird. So, like, the battle robot, what's it called? The battle moon, for whatever reason, it just looks like a weird floating mace. But the sorry, I needed to pause to look at the DTs, and it got far, and then it got destroyed, and I don't know if it got one-shotted again. I hope it didn't, because I hope we could just pop that, because that was a normal DT. We're gonna have to deal with fortifieds at the minimum. I'll keep my Morap for it, but still. What else was I saying? Thinking, oh, that was really close. Slow down. Are you gonna die, fortified? Because if not, I'm gonna pop you. Okay, we one-shotted the other fortified. We did deal with that first round. we were really close to dying there, and I still don't think I have enough money for continue. I should have given it to, like, Tuxedo Jake, time machine, so I could just plop Tuxedo Jake in the bottom, and he wouldn't do anything, and I would just have the time machine. That would have been smart thinking. I didn't do it, but that would have been smart thinking. Instead, I'm left with, like, hey, we're good, right? I mean, we have the last 4 rounds here. I'll slow it down. I'll try to make sure I don't make a bad mistake and lose for no reason. What I was gonna say originally, though, is that the Bloon, I think, has slightly larger range than than Ninjafin's actual other attacks, which is interesting. I wonder if it's because its range moves as it rotates around its character. Like, if it has a separate range and it's the same range as his, theoretically, since it's slightly farther away from him, the center point would be off. It would be slightly closer to the balloons and could do a little more damage a little bit earlier. These zombie balloons are scary. I do not like them. They're going to come in on the hardest round of the game next round. That's not good. Don't like it. Okay, so that wasn't that many. I'm a little scared for these fortified deities, though. If we can beat these, then it's only the bad balloons fortified deities, which will also not be good. These are also accompanied by fortified mobs, which kind of sucks, because it makes it a little bit more like 95 in BT6. But I think we're good for these, right? Yeah, we are. It is scary, though, because if the deities, or if the bad balloon pops too late and the deities spawn after they go through the loop, we're dead. We're not getting them in that tiny length of track we have. We just don't have enough time for it. Which is too bad. I am going to use one of these mob assassins. I don't know if it's necessarily a smart idea, because I think we can just one-shot them both. But I did it anyways, and it's too late to take it back now, so never mind. And this is still close. Like, I think we'll be good for this round, I think. But then there's next round, and then there's the bad balloon, and scary. I do have some powers. I do still have my Nido Shade Amulet if I do need to cheat. Hey, we still one-shotted that ZMG. That was good. That means I completely wasted the assassin, but that was still cool. And one-shot it again, yeah. Fortified ZMGs that come out of the bad balloon, assuming I don't use an ability to one-shot them, they're just gonna die to 40 sword, which is a pretty good thing. But, like, look at this. Armies of balloons, and they're constant rainbows, ceramics, everything. So many balloons. Then there's all the purples. Look at this. We're struggling to deal with these. I'm totally gonna need to use the Moab on these, aren't I? Like, 100%, I'm gonna have to waste the Moab on these balloons, because there's just too many zombies. There's no way we're gonna be able to pop all of these. Like, I know not all of these are zombies, but enough of them are that we're definitely gonna need some assistance. Look at how many graves there are there. This is so scary. This is really scary. Because the Moab has a delay, too. It's not like some instant ability, kind of like, I guess more like Ground Zero in that sense. Oh, no. I mean, I'll wait a second to see if there's any hope of us popping it. No, Moab. Maybe we could have done that, but I'm not willing to risk it. Also, it's a non-fortified bad balloon. Thank goodness, because, I mean, I wasted that Moab, which isn't good. Hopefully these abilities will be enough. I could technically sell and rebuy C4 Charlie, but I don't think I'll need to, given that it's just a normal bad balloon. We should have enough damage, hopefully. Come on, go to your final damage phase any second now, then I'll feel better, okay? Final battle phase. I know you haven't reached our towers yet, but final damage phase, right? Just from the ability? No, you're telling me you still have another damage phase left? Of course. Okay, Moabs, or the Moab missiles, you can do this. We got this, right? Like, C4 Charlie does a lot of damage. It's in its final damage phase now. I don't think we'll have many abilities left. We might have Warhorn, depending on how long this takes. But we're going to need some clutch one-shots, and I'm full well getting ready to exit out. One shot. Are we good? I need to be fast here. Okay, we dealt with it. We're good, right? We can one-shot these EMGs. You better one-shot these EMGs, okay, Dungeon If you don't one-shot them, I'm gonna be mad. Okay, there we go, second one-shot. Okay, if that was fortified, we would have stood no chance there, which is a very, very terrifying thing. Because that was really close, and that was scary. But that was a lot of fun. That was good. Like, it's so nice when those challenges look close like that, but they still will count. It's a very nice feeling. It may just be the feeling of anxiety going away. I probably should have opened that. You know what? Someone actually asked recently to do an epic wish orb opening. It's not really an opening, but I can craft one of them, so here you go. It's an epic wish orb. Enjoy. But yeah, so that was pretty fun. It worked out pretty well. That was really close. Huh. So there's 3 instrument characters in the game, but I don't think we need a third one of these. I guess I'll go for the candy dive suit, because Future Crystal definitely doesn't stack. Yeah, I mean, I guess the third candy dive suit's not a bad item to have. You can have 10 of them, technically, and still have uses for them, so I guess having a third's not a bad idea. But yeah, that worked out pretty well. I hope you did enjoy this video. If you did, definitely give the video a like if you enjoyed, and subscribing, or unsubscribe, not subscribing, to join the Purple Elephant Squad. It's awesome, it's nice over here. We're standing at 2,000 proud subscribers, so that's pretty good. We still have over a month till the end of the year. How far do you think we can get till the end? I will announce it now. My goal for the end of year, my sub goal is 2,500. We are about 450-ish away from that as I say this. We still have a good 3rd of November left, so can you do it? I hope you can, but we'll see. It's up to you. It's your challenge for the holidays. If you have a friend you think will like the channel, let them know about it. But yeah, that's the challenge for the new year, I guess. Anyways, thank you all for watching. I hope you all did enjoy. Last quick showcase of the trinkets, in case you want to double check them. You're like, wait, why did that work? Here you go. This is what we use for C for Charlie. Okay, there we go. That's enough time there. And Dungeon Finn, he will sit here while I say goodbye. So yeah, thank you all for watching. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye!